Memo is on Donald Trump's desk. Adam Schiff is weeping as the memo's release is imminent. Moments ago, the House Intelligence Committee convened to vote on whether or not the FISA abuse memo should be released to the public. Well, they voted, and the Democrat Adam Schiff was not pleased. The president now has 5 days to sign off on the release to the public, and immediately following the vote, Schiff ran to the cameras and revealed something even more horrific to the swamp monsters who were watching. Take a look.
We had votes today to politicize the intelligence process, to prohibit the FBI and the Department of Justice from expressing their concerns to our committee and to the House, and to selectively release to the public only the majority's distorted memo without the full facts. A very sad day, I think, in the history of this committee. As I said to my committee colleagues during this hearing, sadly, we can fully expect that the President of the United States will not put the national interest over his own personal interest. But it is a sad day indeed when that is also true of our own committee, because today this committee voted to put the President's personal interest, perhaps their own political interest, above the national interest, in denying themselves even the ability to hear from the Department and the FBI. And that is, I think, a deeply regrettable state of affairs. But it does show how, in my view, when you have a deeply flawed person in the Oval Office, that flaw can infect the whole of government, and today, tragically, it infected our committee. I should also mention that it was disclosed to the minority today for the first time that the majority has evidently opened an investigation of the FBI and an investigation of the Department of Justice. Under our committee rules, of course, that has to be the product of consultation with the minority, but we learned about that for the first time here today. Now, it has been publicly reported from time to time that there was a subset of the majority working on some kind of a investigation or inquiry into the Department of Justice and FBI, but apparently the chairman made it formal today. According to the majority, the FBI is under investigation, and so is the Department of Justice. This is a wholesale broadside against two of our respected institutions, and brings to mind something I brought to the committee's attention a week ago when we first took up the majority memo, and that is we need to be concerned with not just what happens during this presidency, but the lasting damage that may be done to these institutions. And unfortunately, that damage just became all the more greater today.
Congressman, are you comfortable with how the DOJ handled the situation that's under review in those memos? Are you confident in what law enforcement officials did?
Well, I think the Department of Justice has done what they could, but the majority has been unwilling to share with them the nature of the concerns they have, their memoranda, to invite feedback from the department. And I think the department was all too accurate in saying that this is extraordinarily reckless. Why on earth would you not want to give the FBI and the Department of Justice the opportunity to come in and say, you're right, you're wrong, or here's what really happened? But they denied.
Why not give them a chance? Because they're compromised, Adam. They have proven time and time again that they do not want the truth released to the public. Text messages going missing, emails gone, criminals walking free, Hillary Clinton. Schiff, my friends, Schiff is complaining that they denied the very agencies who have been working to undermine the president since the 2016 campaign. Okay, he's complaining that they can't take a look at the memo, and rightly so. And they should be excluded from any opportunity to block their own investigation. Now, did you hear what he said in that clip? Did you hear what he said? The FBI and the DOJ are under investigation. Look again.
I should also mention that it was disclosed to the minority today for the first time that the majority has evidently opened an investigation of the FBI and an investigation of the Department of Justice.
This is only the beginning. The swamp is draining, folks. Now, when asked about the timetable of the release, Schiff immediately politicized it and made it about the president rather than justice. Take a look at this shameful moment.
In terms of the timetable, this has never happened in my experience in the committee, so we're on uncharted waters. But if the president expresses the view short of 5 days, hey, I'm perfectly copacetic with anything being published that helps me, I don't know that they have to wait 5 days. And the White House has made it abundantly clear that they want the memo published even though they haven't read it. That should tell you all you need to know about the president's priorities. Even without reading it, even without hearing from the intelligence agencies or the FBI what damage it might do in terms of public release, it's clear they already want it released. I think, as one of my Tea Party colleagues said all too candidly, he was sure the president was going to want to release the majority spin memo because it was good for him. And that is apparently the standard now for the release of classified information. If it's good for the president, then fine, regardless of its impacts on the Bureau, on the department, or on the interests of justice.
You know, it really is amazing to see just how much hate exudes from these Democrats at the expense of our republic, okay, at the expense of our nation. Now, Christine Lallier at the Gateway Pundit, she noted Schiff's remarks that Schiff said that his motions to delay the release of the memo, they were voted down. See, he wanted to push it back. He even had his own little Democrat version of a memo. And the Republicans in the committee said, nah, not going to happen. We're not going to let you try to distract from what is real here. Even Nancy Pelosi going on television on CNN, she's blowing her top. She's like, oh, this is ridiculous. This is a fake memo. Mark my words, friends, there is going to be a huge smokescreen put up by the left as soon as this memo is released. They're going to say it's fake news. They're going to call it everything in the book. But the facts of the memo speak for themselves. Now, Schiff, he also said the committee voted to release the FISA memo to the public. The Democrat memo will not be released at the same time as the GOP memo. Adam Schiff also said the FBI and the DOJ are under investigation. So these are the takeaways from Schiff's little crybaby scene there in front of the cameras. But the clock is ticking. Clock is ticking. Pray justice is swift and the swamp is drained. This is an amazing moment, folks. You guys made it happen. You made it happen. You put the pressure on your congressman. You called. You put out the hashtag. You told them it's time to release the memo. They voted, and it will be released. But do not let up. Do not let up. Okay, the president, he's got the State of the Union tomorrow. The hashtag release the memo is still in play. Okay? It's still in play. And the deal is this. This memo is so damning. We only have 5 days. 5 days. If Trump doesn't react to it, it goes back to the committee. But we need Trump to sign off. He's already said he's going to do it. So keep the pressure on President Trump. Release the.
All right, we begin tonight with President Trump's very powerful and historic first State of the Union address. Now, he touched on several key themes: American culture, referencing the flag and standing for our national anthem. He also touted the massive economic growth that has happened in just a little over a year, and of course businesses creating jobs, record low unemployment, and of course rising wages. The president declared a new American moment and that there has never been a better time to start living the American dream. The president also listed how he's fulfilling very key conservative principles tonight by appointing conservative justices and judges, honoring and helping vets, energy independence. And one of the best lines of the night that stood out for me, the president said the era of economic surrender is over. Now, it's best when the president can push aside the bias filter of the liberal mainstream media like he did tonight and speak directly to you, the American people. It was so obvious during many moments in the speech tonight that the Democrats, they'll never give this president a fighting shot. But his list of accomplishments, they do speak for themselves. After 8 years of failure and a year of solid record success, you would think that the Never Trump crowd, the Hate Trump crowd, that they would appreciate America's now moving in the right direction. People are getting back to work, off of food stamps. The economy's growing. Now, tonight is the night that the president, he was able to bypass everyone and go right to the American people, make his case that his programs, that his policies, that his principles are working, and that we, the American people, we are rising up in the world. And you would think this would be a moment people would celebrate. Not about the media, not about the Democrats sitting on their hands, often looking like fools, not about the hatred of the president, not about liberal conspiracy theories or obstruction. It has really become a battle for the vision of the America that you want. This, to me, is a fork in the road moment. And that's pretty much what tonight was all about. So ask yourself this. When was the last time the media ever talked or even mentions the president's numerous accomplishments in just 1 year? Now, your answer is probably never. And since the media ignores everything the president has been able to do, well, we decided to do their job for them. Take a look at the side of your screen. We'll run it throughout the night tonight. The president's accomplishments in 1 year. The economy is booming. We have record low unemployment numbers. Regulations are being gutted. ISIS defeated. The individual mandate repealed. We are finally on the path to energy independence, and that means millions of high-paying career jobs for Americans, and America is now back leading on the world stage. Now, this has been an epic first year for the Trump administration, and more importantly, an epic year for the American people, the forgotten men and women that Martha was just talking about. And that's with Democrats that have resisted every second of every day, obstructed at every single turn. And, of course, never-Trumpers, establishment Republicans in Congress that have held back the Trump agenda. Yet the media that worshiped Barack Obama, defended his terrible failed policies for 8 years, they're not willing to give this president a break or credit for anything. And they have been so abusively biased, something we've never seen in American history. The media seemingly wants the president to fail. They're actively rooting for it, which is why speeches like tonight help the president explain his vision for this country without the spin, without the smears from the liberal media.